All right, as we see this news out of ccn.com, it says, sell the house, car, and kids, buy Litecoin. CNBC host goes crypto crazy. And as the article goes into, crypto mania has once again gripped mainstream financial outlets. CNBC's Fast Money panel were beside themselves yesterday as they analyzed Bitcoin and Litecoin's parabolic rise in recent months.
I love that.
Me too. The panel whooped and cheered at the mention of Litecoin's 400% price rise. The anchor ended the segment yelling, sell the house, sell the car, sell the kids, buy Litecoin. Now, I don't endorse selling your children, folks, but I would say...
But definitely sell your assets.
Yes, please. Again, it's great to see stories where we have, these people, after a 400% rise in something, people saying buy, buy, buy. It says a lot about the market and the difference between this and, the stock market. And Litecoin up 416% from lows. The CNBC panel are right to be impressed. After hitting a low of $22.93 back in December, we all remember that. It was a very sad day. Litecoin has surged back to $118.15 in May. It's a meteoric rise. Oh, and this article is bouncing around. Anyway, it's a meteoric rise of 416% that dwarfs even Bitcoin's resurgence. As CCN reported, the catalysts for this jump are numerous. On-chain metrics have strengthened. The number of Litecoin addresses have grown rapidly in 2019, and a handful of celebrity endorsements have raised the coin's profile. And you could see that meteoric rise right here. And look, I'm not going to go into what the mainstream media thinks is coming next for Litecoin, and honestly, I don't care. But I think it says a lot about the current market that we're in that, look, when it's a bear market, especially the beginning of a bear market, we have all the mainstream media saying it's dead, it's gone, it's over. And then in a bull market, everyone says, we're on to the cusp of something great, the next big revolution. And I think it's important that we all get back to basics and try to understand the currency itself and the market itself. But what do you think, before we get into more on the crypto side of things, Erin, what do you think about the recent rise of Litecoin, the recent kind of bounce with cryptocurrency? Because, I mean, in the last month alone with Bitcoin, it's gone up over 65%.
Yeah. Well, I'll tell you, the article itself said that they saw a very, very high increase of Litecoin wallets. And in December, when it hit that all-time low, I sat there and I was like, Litecoin's dead, Yeah. And I was one of those people. And I also was one of those people who opened up a Litecoin wallet in 2019. So, I don't know. I think the crypto markets are definitely coming back. There was like a period where I was a little nervous. I wasn't quite sure if we would make it out of that extended bear market.
It seemed like forever. It seemed like a million years.
Well, it's just like you don't know if it's a dead cat bounce. Like you don't know if it's going to just stay and just rise.
We got tricked so many times in the bear market, and it still is a bear market. Let's be clear. I mean, a friend of mine, Paul Poi of Edge Wallet, mentioned recently at one of your Bitcoin meetups, actually in Las Vegas, that it's not a bull market until we reach the all-time highs again and bounce up above that. But it can be bullish, and of course, it's a subjective argument to have. But and nonetheless, look, before I get into more news on this, because we are going to go into how people are trying to co-opt this, big corporations, governments, central banks, etc. But I do want to mention, for those of you that I know are commenting right now, I cannot see the chat at this moment, but I know are commenting on our original live stream here. Bitcoin is a mark of the beast. It's all Ponzi scheme. It's this or that. It's fiat. First of all, fiat means by fiat, by law, by force. It means it's legal tender laws. It cannot be fiat. It literally cannot, by definition, be fiat unless the U.S. government was like, today we're going to make Bitcoin the currency of the United States. That's not going to happen. It wouldn't benefit them. It's ridiculous. And on top of that, we have to understand the difference between right and wrong. So you can have food that's poisoned. You can have food that's good and sustains you. It doesn't mean that all food is bad because some food might be poisoned. You need it. You need that food to sustain yourself. So there's good and bad. I often make the mention of, you could use a gun to kill a whole bunch of innocent people, but you could use that same gun to save all those people from being killed. And the same goes for the blockchain. If government controls a blockchain, if central banks control a blockchain, it's centralized. If it's centralized, centralized, you can use it to enslave humanity, and if it's decentralized, you can use it to overthrow that which enslaves humanity. So let's be clear about that. I know people are still going to say, no, you're wrong, and fine, we all have our views in life.
But just look into decentralized technology. Yeah. Just look into it.
Exactly, and I'm a big fan of ensuring my wealth in many different ways and diversifying. But anyway, I'm going to get on to the next article here, and it says Bitcoin price $10,000 in 2 weeks, as analysts, and that's something that I've been saying for a while. But again, it's impossible to perfectly match it to a number. I think it's possible for Bitcoin to still go down to $5,000. That's my lowest I think I'll go, and I might be bit in the butt for that one. But honestly, I think that this is as far as it'll go down after this point. But it's more likely to see $10,000 in the next 2 weeks, and especially in the next month. $7,000 is still possible. A very, very likely possibility.
How high do you think it'll go?
How high? Like in the next bull market?
Yeah.
Well, in the next bull market, that assumes that it's over 20,000, and I honestly think there's going to be a lot of resistance around 25,000, especially 20 to 25,000. There's going to be a lot of, it's going to be a shakeup in the market. But we have to remember that after the bull market several years ago, going into 2017's bear market, February 2017, we saw $900 Bitcoin. And with $900 Bitcoin, we saw it rise meteorically, as the last article mentioned, to $20,000. Some people say $19,000, some people say $21,000. It depends how you judge it. Mm-hmm. But we saw it fall like a rock, and it was a bad day for all of us. December 18th, 2017, never forget. But I do believe that going forward, we are likely to see as much as 100,000 far into the future. It depends, because Bitcoin, there's problems with Bitcoin, and there's problems with scalability. So it depends. Honestly, I see Bitcoin being king for a long way down the road, but I think one of these days we probably will be saying this other cryptocurrency.
I think that's inevitable. I think as technology evolves, we're definitely going to see a new king.
Oh, absolutely. Eventually, and even blockchain will be replaced at some point. That's the way the market works. We can't say in 300 years we're still going to be using the blockchain. The blockchain is the first step in this massive rollout of this new technology, and hopefully decentralized. So we'll see about that. But let's get into the co-opting of this movement. Facebook introduces global coin, a cryptocurrency more PayPal than Bitcoin. It's a correct headline for sure. This is something that has been on a lot of people's radar lately. A lot of people have been talking about global coin. And suffice to say, it's not Bitcoin. I mean, it's the attempt to utilize the popular trend in people flooding to Bitcoin, Litecoin, Ethereum, EOS, all these other cryptocurrencies. And honestly, it's Facebook coin. Can anyone trust a Facebook coin? We've talked about it 2 years ago when they talked about in the last bull market possibly rolling this out at the same time as banning crypto related ads, because we can't think for ourselves because a few bad ICOs paid for ad time.
Right, but you can go to the nearest casino and drop all your money on black.
Exactly, and then the government takes all of it.
Yeah.
Though it does mean cheap flights in Vegas, so let's not bash the stupid tax too much. But anyway, there's a lot of conversations happening around this idea of Facebook releasing their cryptocurrency. Of course, we have to remember that Facebook, Mark Zuckerberg, has helped China unroll its social credit programs, its facial recognition programs, pushing into a cashless society that's centralized, again, differing from what so many of us are trying to create here.
Which is a decentralized world. But tell us, do you trust Mark Zuckerberg?
I think very few people trust him at this point. I mean, even it's the same with YouTube. It's even gay rights stuff is being taken down and demonetized and banned at the same time as gun rights stuff is. It's like they're attacking both sides, all while
as
real
long
journalists...
as it fits in there, or as long as it doesn't fit into their agenda, then...
Exactly.
They just don't want to learn anything about it. They don't want to hear anything about it.
This is at the same time as people like Julian Assange are being thrown in jail and potentially facing over 100 or almost 200 years in prison. It's ridiculous. Why do you even put someone in jail for 200 years? It makes no sense. It's ridiculous. Anyway, as this article from CoinDesk says, Project Libra, everything we know about Facebook's cryptocurrency, and as it kind of goes into here, I'm not going to read all of it because it would be exhausting and will bore you all. But anyway, the world's biggest social media company appears dead set on launching its own cryptocurrency. Facebook has yet to announce plans publicly, but media reports on its crypto ambitions have emerged over the past 6 months. painting a partial picture of how the social network wants to capitalize on blockchain technology. Let me just add, I was talking about Facebook unrolling this and rumors about this over 2 years ago. So all these mainstream medias that are just starting to talk about it in the last few months or past 6 months, yeah.
It was only a matter of time for them to basically set up like a currency that is as easy to, like, I think Zuckerberg mentioned it in this article. He wants to create a payment system that's easy as sending us a picture.
Exactly.
Or receiving a picture.
Yeah. So, and I agree that we need that, but not by Facebook.
Not by
I don't think
Facebook.
people are going to bite. But in short, a team led by former PayPal president David Marcus, as this article says, is building an asset-backed cryptocurrency, one designed to operate within the company's existing messaging infrastructure, WhatsApp, Instagram, and Facebook Messenger. And let me just add that WhatsApp has been doing terrible lately. People have been flocking away from it in mass because WhatsApp was always about not having advertisements. Their former CEOs talked about how if there's advertisements on the platform, it's not the product, you're the product. And when Mark Zuckerberg bought WhatsApp and Facebook bought WhatsApp, what was it, $19 billion? I can see why they wanted to put ads on, but they've so overdone it, and people have left Facebook from the high up ranks saying Mark Zuckerberg is just trying to make a bunch of money, squeeze as much money out of the app as possible. And it shows because countless people are running away from WhatsApp right now, and it's not working out too well for them. But anyway, carrying on, it says, the most recent news on the project comes from the BBC, with the British outlet reporting that the cryptocurrency called Global Coin internally will launch in about a dozen countries by the first quarter of 2020. However, the signs that Mark Zuckerberg's company wanted to diversify into fintech first materialized as far back as 2017. Man, we're both having trouble saying Zuckerberg's name today.
I know.
Anyway.
Maybe it's a sign we just shouldn't talk about
Yeah,
him.
I agree. But we'll give him this anyway. Below is a rundown of what is known so far about Facebook's cryptocurrency, and shows going back to 2017, very outdated information. David Marcus, head of Messenger at Facebook, will be joining Coinbase's board. Coinbase's board. All right, I got that down a little bit. I don't have to read all that. August 2018, Facebook's Marcus steps down from Coinbase's board. Coinbase. All right.
Not Coinboard.
And then December 2018, Facebook is developing a cryptocurrency for WhatsApp transfers, sources say. Okay, so there's a lot of talk about creating stable coins and all that kind of stuff. Stable coins, the whole point was to avoid, be able to money launder. Honestly, I'm being completely honest here. The idea is that instead of trading out of cryptocurrencies and being taxed on it, you could use a stable coin so you didn't have to be taxed. But that all was thrown under the bus in January 2018 with the IRS's amendment on tax code.
That and the volatility.
Yeah, well, absolutely. But I mean, with things like Tether, it's taxable event every time you trade in and out of it now, if people declare it. So yeah, I mean, it kind of defeats the purpose.
Don't use Tether.
No, huge problems there. February 2019, Facebook makes first blockchain acquisition with Chainspace, sources say. And Facebook and Telegram are hoping to succeed where Bitcoin failed. I don't need to read all this. You guys get the point. I'm just going to go over the headlines here. April 2019. Facebook's future is private, but also driven by payments and commerce. I don't know if it's private. They're begging government to regulate it.
Oh my gosh. They just steal all your data and sell it to third-party companies.
Including the Chinese, who are unrolling their global centrally planned.
But it's totally private also.
Yeah, totally.
Don't worry.
With all their government grants. Anyway, May 2019, Wall Street Journal, Facebook building cryptocurrency-based payment system. And of course, that brings us to today. Facebook forms Swiss fintech firm with payments focus, and Facebook plans to launch global coin, not currency in 2020. Anyway, carrying on, as this article correctly points out, Facebook's aging users and broke teens will reject global coin, as says report, and they show a lot of demographics here. And the Facebook usership. And honestly, most young people I know don't use Facebook anymore.
No, Facebook lost 15 million users within the last couple of years.
Well, I mean, thank God in a way. I think it's convenient. I use it. I like to use it. But for all the right reasons,
but that's because everybody's on it. If you try to go to other platforms, the problem is that everyone is just on Facebook. and they don't follow you to these platforms, so there's nothing really to see on these platforms. But that's going to change soon.
Well, honestly, Erin, if I were, if Steam had a whole bunch of people on it that were of different viewpoints and not all like the same like
an
echo
chamber,
yeah, and there weren't obvious problems with Steam, I would be going to Steam and not posting on Facebook anymore. But it's impossible for me to promote World Alternative Media and get us the viewership we need outside of the echo chamber without Facebook at the moment.
Yeah.
And it's unfortunate. It's a huge monopoly, as is YouTube, as is Twitter and Instagram, and it's really hard to escape. But we're in this kind of situation.
And it doesn't help that they totally just shadow ban you and mess with your income there.
Absolutely. It's absolutely horrific what we're dealing with. Honestly, I really have to point out that, again, we have Julian Assange, who is in prison. We have Chelsea Manning, who's in prison for sharing information. But we are the criminals. We are the enemies of mankind, sharing information freely. And yet, I was just banned from Facebook for several days. Why? Because a guy threatened to behead me and kill me, dismember me, bury me, with 40 comments on one of my posts. And then I responded, "Get some help, dude." And I got banned for hate speech for 3 days. Mm-hmm. This is an example of, like, it's old guard. People are flocking away from Facebook. We are seeing the end of it. It's just, how long will it last? How long until people break out of this paradigm of these massive monopoly social medias, and at the same time don't fall for this cryptocurrency quote unquote movement by the bankers, elites, and Facebooks of the world, when we have truly decentralized, properly, fundamentally useful cryptocurrencies out there that we can utilize to save ourselves, ensure our wealth, and diversify among things like gold and silver.
Have you seen Gemini's ads that say, "We need regulations"?
I know. See, there's these people in this, like, the whole idea of cryptocurrency was crypto anarchy. It was at the end of the financial crisis.
Right,
people
it's
came
taking
out with
control
this.
of your freedom, your funds, your money, and just doing what you want with it.
Yeah, absolutely. So I think we will
get rid of the third-party companies.
We need to get rid of them, and we need to create our own. But honestly, I don't think we will be able to bring it to the next level or cater to most individuals by saying it's cryptocurrency based and blockchain based. We need to we need people to unwittingly kind of get into this new idea, like the same way that the elites bring us this cashless, technocratic, super state, nanny state, police state society under the guise of convenience. We need to bring them the decentralized world under the guise of convenience. Because honestly, we cannot convince everyone. Instead of convincing everyone, we need to unroll the technology and bring it to the next level. And we will with cryptocurrency if we make it convenient for everyone and not pull it into that nerdy world where it's only useful to people who like the programmers, like built by programmers for programmers. We need built by programmers for users.
Float. That's so funny.
Well, exactly.
That's exactly what we say.
Well, there is the initiative that you and Kingsley are doing regarding Float, which I'm very excited about, which is going to help a lot of independent media, as you guys will be launching soon. And that's FLOTE, if anyone wants to check that out. And we will be doing lots of reports and interviews regarding Float in the near future. I think it's going to be of great help to independent medias that are heavily shadow banned and hurt financially, because if you can hurt someone financially and stop them from being able to make any money at all, you can stop their initiative from actually being able to take hold. And if you stop the spread of information, you stop people from getting that information out, that free information movement, which has been changing the world dramatically, then you really we lose the information war. So we need individuals to help us out. We need people to come up with great new innovations on the market to stop this problem of complete centralization, complete co-opting of our movements, and complete control of the narrative. So anyway, we're going to sign out of this report. But until next time, thanks, Erin. This is Josh Sigurdson and Erin Nakamoto signing out from World Alternative Media. Find the truth. Be the change. Like what you see here, Wham? Don't forget to check the links below. GoFundMe, Patreon. We can't do it without you. Any donation is very much appreciated, especially as we are so heavily demonetized and censored by YouTube, as these guys come in and flag all of our content as hate speech. The shadow banning is getting really bad, guys.
Also, check our Bitcoin address right here on the screen or in the description below. We really appreciate it. And of course, check us out at the Red Pill Expo 2019. Of course, the great G. Edward Griffin and so many other incredible speakers will be there. Our link for that is below as well. And we cannot forget Mike Maloney's GoldSilver.com, which you can also find in the description. One of the greatest market and monetary historians out there. We really encourage everyone to check that out. But until next time, this is Josh Sigurdson signing out from World Alternative Media. Find the truth, be the change.
I'm sure you have already changed people's minds in your young age because you're involved, and I like that.
Thank you.